One thing that I think a lot of e-commerce brands are still not adopting or using to their full potential is affiliate marketing. And I think we're seeing a bit of a renaissance of affiliate marketing right now that we're in, because things like TikTok Shop that everybody's talking about right now, go on there.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of What's Working in E-commerce. I am your host, Eagan Heath, formerly of caravandigital.com. I now have a business partner in a new agency. We're called Asymmetric Marketing. We're at asymmetric.pro. Check us out there. I'm stoked for this episode because we have a successful D2C founder and operator who has sold a business and is on to the next one. So we're going to learn some insights from him of what worked in the past and how he's approaching his new venture. Welcome, Alex, back. Thank you for coming from couch.com.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Alex, tell us about your last venture, just to maybe describe that and how all that went, and then tell us about what you're working on now.
Yeah, absolutely. So my former company is called Apartment2B. It is now a fairly popular online furniture brand. But it started when I was in my early to mid 20s. And my partner and I at the time, we were both in the furniture space and had some experience there. And really, we're just trying to fill a gap in the market where there was very little online furniture presence, almost non-existent. Like I always talk about, even IKEA was not actually selling products online. So this is Apartment2B. This is what it is now. I'm no longer associated with the business. We sold it after building it up for 7 or 8 years, we sold it to a pretty large brick and mortar focused furniture chain in the Midwest. And I stayed on as COO for 4 years after that to really grow out the business with the new operational infrastructure that we had being part of a larger entity. And we were very, very successful. And I decided about a year ago to move on to explore my new beginnings and new life, and ended up starting couch.com, drawing upon some of my experience. But I can get into that more. Anything we should talk about Apartment2B, I'm happy to get into.
Yeah, I love it. Well, the first thing that strikes me is these are large price points, so nice high average order value. But I imagine a lot of logistics around the shipping, and that's probably why competition was what it was or wasn't, I suppose. I wonder if you can talk about that piece of, is there any special considerations around selling large products that I imagine are difficult to ship?
Well, there's a lot of considerations, or ones that you should make anyway. Over the years, we've seen a lot of players come into the space and sort of come and go because they either underestimated or didn't value highly enough how difficult and time consuming and focus consuming it is to run a national furniture distribution channel. Between the logistics and the customer care, it's not something that can really be softballed. You have to really, really focus on that. And the ones that have committed to that, I think, were the ones that were successful. But yes, ultimately, it is very prohibitive to entry if you don't have a lot of experience in the logistics or shipping bulky items or large items around the country. And certainly 10 to 15 years ago, it was like almost not happening at all. Like our first national orders were shipping on pallets and were being left outside people's driveways. Things have changed quite a bit. There are a lot of home delivery players that are doing a great job nationally. So you've seen other players come up in the furniture space online a lot recently. But yes, the large items, the logistics, very difficult to manage.
Yeah, I kind of think of the mattress ones, and this is great. I don't think I'm saying anything I shouldn't hear. I'm looking at your LinkedIn. So with that old company, it looks like you were founder and COO, and you got it to 40 million annual revenue. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. We started from zero, and we really, really built it up a lot. And I think once you have a formulaic approach that's working, and you have the cojones to keep like feeding the beast and taking additional calculated risk, you can really, really be successful. In simpler terms, like we had a marketing mix that really worked. We had an operational infrastructure that was scalable and was, for the most part, really worked well. So it allowed us to to grow and continue to advertise at higher levels and ultimately achieve higher revenue goals.
Yeah, well, congratulations. That's awesome. I know as an entrepreneur, you're always eager to talk about the next thing, but I think anybody who's watching or listening, they want to know, how did you do it? Maybe on the marketing side of it. I know you have quite a few channels listed here. I know you said you like affiliates. I'm sure it's different at every stage you were at for revenue there, but maybe even just paint the picture of in what years were you focusing on what channels, or I don't even know what to ask you exactly, but what's the story where you go from 0 to 40 million a year? Paint that picture for us. What's the journey marketing wise?
Yeah, so I think one through line for us is that we were always very, very nimble, and we could pivot quickly, we could make changes quickly. And that really helped when it came to trying new things and being open to opportunities that came our way. So we got a lot from opportunities that really that we wouldn't have gotten if we were a larger company, working with players that were just emerging, starting new, and wanting to use us as a pilot program. So that was just an interesting tidbit to start with. But generally speaking, we just really were patient and worked our way into, with the help of digital marketing agencies. We didn't run really any of it in-house, but we managed it sort of very, very carefully. It was a collaborative process. So we worked our way into Google ad strategy and Google shopping strategy that worked really well for us. Obviously, that's an iterative process and it changes daily, weekly, monthly, whatever, for every business. But establishing some of the foundations with which to operate and iterate on was the most important thing. And I think once you've achieved that foundation, what generally works for us, what kind of ads, what kind of spend, what kind of keywords should we be targeting? I'm giving random examples, but once you have that foundation, then you can try Performance Max when it comes out and see if it works and allocate this much of your budget to it and leave the rest in what works. So between that and Meta, Facebook, Instagram advertising, those are really, as is the case for most online furniture retailers, those were sort of the backbone of our advertising, our paid advertising strategy. One thing that I think a lot of e-commerce brands are still not adopting or using to their full potential is affiliate marketing. And I think we're seeing a bit of a renaissance of affiliate marketing right now that we're in, because things like TikTok Shop that everybody's talking about right now, you go on there, it's literally like an affiliate marketing superstore where you have influencers selling you products within 10 seconds of But even if that doesn't work out in the end, or if it does, it's popularizing this idea that people can be actually influenced to buy products if they are given the opportunity and the situation is right. And I think for us, we really focused on affiliate marketing for a long time and used our affiliates in different ways to achieve some marketing goals that we had.
Yeah. And when you guys were doing affiliates, was that they were writing blog posts and had content sites like that? Or was it more social media, YouTube, Instagram style stuff?
So we worked with a lot of social influencers. So any social media. I don't think that that's an easy sell for larger ticket items, particularly furniture. We found that people are not generally influenced to buy specific pieces of furniture. So we sort of put that in the brand awareness column. There was a budget for that always. And also what was great about, in our space, producing visual content, literally photo shoots, lifestyle shots of furniture in real life situations, very expensive. Send a free couch to an influencer or give them 50% off and have them shoot some beautiful photos for us, much less expensive. So we leveraged it in the way that worked for us. And I think that I said that a minute or two ago about our affiliates. It's not always which affiliate's going to convert for us the quickest. It's also oh, this one's a good brand awareness affiliate. Oh, and this one's a great lower funnel purchase affiliate. And there's a difference between them. So people a home design blog where people are go to be inspired, that would be a very top of funnel affiliate for us. We would maybe offer them a higher cost per acquisition percentage or commission because we knew that they weren't going to convert that much. We're like, all right, if you convert from this top of funnel, you earned it. We'll give you 10%. We'll give you 12%. But if we worked with a lower funnel partner, like a coupon partner or a loyalty partner, which is a little bit step above, like a cashback, Ebates, Rakuten, Capital One shopping type partner, then we were, we would pay a lower percentage, but we sort of put them in a different bucket. So that's why I say understanding what each affiliate or each marketing channel can do for you and leveraging that in the right way is very important, rather than just hoping that they, do the same exact thing. They're not all created equal.
Yeah, they're different parts of the funnel, it sounds like, and we think that part through. That's great. I have to ask about the agency piece of, when does it make sense to bring them on, and did you keep them on the whole way? And just any advice you have around, selecting and sticking with an agency or finding an agency that can really help you. I'm all ears on that, obviously, as an agency owner. So I'd love to hear people on the brand side talk about that.
Now, I'm not just saying this because you have an agency and this is your world and you're a super nice person. I really genuinely believe that leveraging agencies as much as possible makes sense for any business. That's my personal standpoint. And the reason I say that is because, especially when it comes to digital marketing, like things change so often. Now, certainly you could have an in-house team or an in-house person running your operations, but they're not as dialed into marketing trends as an agency will be. I, as a business operator, can only consume so much content. I can't be an SEO expert as well as a business operator. Now, I can certainly hire one, but then I'd also have to hire a Google Ads expert and an Instagram ads expert. And to us, sort of consolidating that, even though we would pay a premium at times for agency representation, we found it to be very, very valuable to us because they're really, really dialed in. And we always felt like we had our fingers on the pulse without doing very much work. So that was the biggest thing. And then obviously just like the ROI of like how much you're paying an agency versus how much you would pay an in-house individual and how much time you would spend managing that person is something you really have to figure out. And I tried a few times to like come up with scenarios where bringing a certain service that was managed by an agency in-house, it never really made that much sense. So I'm a big believer in agency help whenever it makes sense.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I wasn't expecting anything like that. I was even thinking people have a lot of bad stories. They have agencies they get burnt by, but your point is well taken there of in a space where things are just changing so much, it's nice to have somebody who's looking at that maybe across accounts, across brands and industries. Maybe there's value there instead of putting that on one person to know what's going on with digital marketing and then know your brand too. So that's great insight. Thank you, Alex.
Sure.
I know you're eager to talk Couch.com, and I'm afraid we have just a few minutes, so I want to give you a chance to do it, and I'll dig in more. Hopefully we can have you on for a future episode, but why Couch.com, and how are you approaching this after your last success?
Yeah, so the whole point of Couch.com is we're setting out to solve a problem. The problem exists on both sides of the industry, for the user and for the retailer. On the user side, there's so much market saturation right now. And here's the question, as you see it on the screen, they still have the same question, where the heck do I go, or the blank do I go to buy a new couch? And it's rare that people have a very good sense of where to go to buy a couch or what kind of couch they're looking for. It's just not something that people have educated themselves that much about. Now, granted, there are people who like go deep into the research rabbit hole and watch YouTube videos like the one that you're looking at right now on the screen that I've made. But most people generally will just go to Google or go to Instagram or TikTok and just figure out where to buy a couch and start their own journey. That journey, once they dip their feet in the water, realize that it's a very arduous and cumbersome process where you have to educate yourself and take some risks and take time to go to stores and visit sites and convince your partner of something. Well, we're aiming to make that a lot easier. We've done all the research for you. We know all the great brands in the industry. I and my team have been in the business forever. So let us tell you what the good retailers are and the great couches are. All we need from you is to know what you're looking for. So is something like, do you have kids? Do you have pets? What size are you looking for? Are you looking for something you can see in person before buying? All of these things would are variables that would set a customer out on a completely different approach than if they were not the case. So we're trying to needle in on that. And on the other side, there's the retailer side. The retailers in the furniture industry, we're sort of forced to go into the Googles of the world and the Metas of the world, where it's essentially like the town square. We're saying, does anybody want furniture? But in reality, we would much rather go to a place where people were already looking for furniture. And that's what Couch.com is. It's essentially for retailers, a furniture mall of retailers where we'll be connecting the user with the retailer. And all the retailers of the country, both online and brick and mortar, can be aggregated in one place. And us as the trusted advisors at Couch.com can point them in the right direction.
Okay. Thanks for talking about that. Am I understanding it right that this will be a little different model than your last business? You guys are more of the content site, and then other people will be handling the operations. Is that correct?
That's exactly right. Because I can't have customers in my life anymore. No, I think it's, for me, I just see a much bigger scope here and a value that I personally can add, which is being this connector piece that does not exist. This is not a direct to consumer play. We're not looking to sell product in the near term, but I just want to help consumers find great product, and I want to help retailers market that great product more efficiently. I think solving both needs at the same time is like sort of this golden goose that we all search for in business, where you're sort of solving needs of both sides of the equation or the coin at once.
All right. Wow. There's so much here, Alex. Anything else you want to say about Couch.com, or anybody you think should come check it out? Feel free to give us the pitch or tell us why people should check it out.
Yeah, check it out. Right now, we're still building a platform, but there's tons of great content there. So if you're curious about how to negotiate in a furniture store, or what kind of fabrics work best if you have cats, or what repels cats, we have all that kind of content, tons of great videos, and a few great recommendation articles to point you in the right direction. We also do a lot of giveaways for free couches, which is part of our audience building right now. So feel free to spread the word about those. We have a link in our footer on our website for giveaways. Currently are in like 4 right now that we're giving stuff away for. So it's worth a visit. And if you want to try your hand at being part of a giveaway.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we'll have to have you back on. You're just such a wealth of experience and knowledge and all kinds of things. I know we didn't even get to AI exactly. And I know you know a lot about content marketing, affiliate, each of these channels, and working with agencies, obviously. But thank you so much. And we'll have to have you back on. Thank you, Alex, back for coming on and talking about what's working in e-commerce.
Thanks, Eagan. Appreciate it.